Hey there, guys. Chet here. Let me ask you a question. How much time do you waste on boring and repetitive tasks every single day? I'm referring to tasks such as copying data from one app to another, manually sending emails, and updating spreadsheets, maybe even keeping track of what's happening across your tools. So, if you're like most people, the answer is too much. You're wasting too much time. Now, imagine if you had a personal assistant who worked 24/7 and never got tired. Sounds too good to be true, right? A tool that never makes mistakes and could connect all of your apps together so they run smoothly. Well, I'm not exaggerating. I'm talking about an amazing tool, and that's exactly what Make.com does. It has automated features that are simple, powerful, and actually fun to use. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how it works step by step so that you can stop wasting time and start focusing on the work that really matters. But here's the best part. Unlike other tools that feel complex, Make gives you a visual drag and drop interface where you can actually design your automation kind of like a map. You can see the flow, manage every detail, and even build anything from a simple email trigger to a full business process that runs on autopilot. So stay with me because by the end of this tutorial, you'll not only understand Make.com, but you'll also be able to use it to reshape the way you work. So, what exactly is Make.com? It's a platform that allows you to automate workflows by connecting multiple apps and services. It also connects the systems so they can work together automatically. And all this without writing a single ounce of code. It's like sticky glue that connects your digital tools into one powerful ecosystem. The beauty of Make is that it doesn't require you to be a programmer or even a tech expert. Instead, it gives you a powerful builder where you drag apps onto a canvas, connect them with lines, and set rules for how data flows. If you ever heard of tools like Zapier or Integromat, then this will shock you. Make is actually the evolution of Integromat. It took everything that was really great about it and made it even more user friendly, more manageable, and more visually appealing. Now, while Zapier is good for simple automations, don't get me wrong, Make lets you go much deeper. With Make, you can add filters, conditions, loops, and even custom data manipulation. That means that you're not limited to some specific rules only. You can build workflows that are complex and technical. But before we discuss all of the amazing and possible prospects of Make, let's start with the basics. How do you actually use Make.com when you log in for the very first time? Great question. It's not that tricky to log in and sign up. You just search on the browser for Make.com, and then you'll land on its dashboard. Here, click on the option Get Started Free, and then you can sign up with your email. After signing in, you'll be asked some questions like how you know about Make, have you used automation before, what your company's size is, and many more. When you sign up and land on the Make.com dashboard, it may feel a bit intimidating at first. That's okay. There's a lot going on: scenarios, templates, connections, data stores, and more. Don't worry, it will all make sense once you understand the flow. The backbone of everything inside of Make is something called a scenario and an organization. A scenario is basically your automation workflow and the step by step process that tells Make what to do and when to do it. But something else that often gets overlooked is incredibly important, and it's inside of Make.com, and it's called the organization section on the dashboard. Now that you have an idea of how Make works, let's go through the key features that you'll find on its dashboard one by one. Now, the first and maybe the foremost feature of Make.com is organization. It is like the control center for managing everything beyond just your personal account. It's where you manage your workspace, build your teams, handle billing, and set up overall settings. If you're working alone, organization might seem like a small detail, but once you start collaborating with others, it really becomes the backbone of how you operate. In organization, you can create and manage multiple workspaces, which are especially useful if you're switching projects for different clients or departments. For example, maybe you're a freelancer running automations for 4 clients. For that purpose, you don't want all of their apps and scenarios mixed together. You have to put separate workspaces under your organization. It keeps everything neat, secure, and professional. And on top of that, you can also invite users to your workspace in this feature. Then you can also utilize its subscription plan to buy extra credits for your work and keep your organization up and running. And of course, the organization also ties directly to billing, and this is where you manage your plan and upgrade if your automations outgrow your current setup. In short, organization is less about building workflows and more about making sure that everything around those workflows is managed and secure. Once you have your organization built, it gives you the peace of mind that your automation system is built on solid ground before you go perfect with creating scenarios. Now let's create a scenario. Click on the top right corner option, Create Scenario. Then you will land on a page with a big plus option. And after clicking it, you can access multiple apps like Google Sheets, OpenAI, and Airtable. This is where you can choose a scenario from these apps and also manage its flow control, tools, and other editing. Then you can run this scenario in the bottom given option. As easy as it gets, the Teams section of Make.com is really where collaboration comes to life. Not only that, it's made for anyone who's not working in isolation, but instead building automations in a team. Think of Teams as your shared workspace where everyone can contribute without interfering with others' matters. In this section, you can invite colleagues, assign them roles, and give them permissions based on what they actually need to do. For example, one of your marketing team members just needs to check the execution history to confirm that email campaigns are firing correctly, while your operations manager needs full access to build and edit scenarios. So the Teams feature helps you control that, so people only see and touch what's relevant to them. In the Teams section, you can create a scenario and utilize multiple apps from it, and then you can also run it once. The real purpose here is efficiency and security, because when multiple people are handling automations, you don't want a mess where everyone can change anything at any time. That's why Teams gives you a clear structure. It gives you an idea of who's responsible for what data they can access, and how they can contribute. Another powerful aspect of Teams is that it grows with your organization. Whether you're a startup with 5 people or an agency managing hundreds of clients, you can use Teams to separate responsibilities and also collaborate in real time. You can make sure your automation system grows smoothly with your business. In short, the Teams section isn't just about adding users and inviting them without any purpose. It's about building a safe, organized, and growing environment where everyone really can work together on automations without any confusion. But frankly speaking, that's not the only feature that makes Make an all-in-one tool. Another important feature to manage your workflows is scenarios. Now, without scenarios, nothing else in Make matters. This is where you create and manage all of your automation workflows. Scenarios are like blueprints where you decide what apps to include, what triggers to use, and really what actions should follow. For example, you could build a scenario that says, every time a customer makes a purchase on AliExpress, add their details to Google Sheets, send them a thank you email, and notify the sales team in Slack. If you want to do this, then you have to go through 3 separate apps working together smoothly, but it all happens in scenarios without you lifting a finger. The beauty of scenarios is that they're really flexible. You can start simple with just one trigger and one action, but as you get more comfortable, you can expand into advanced setups. Add filters to run certain actions only if conditions are met, though. You can also add routers to split data into different paths. You can also add aggregators to keep multiple items together. In other words, scenarios grows with you and your business progress. They can be as lightweight or as powerful as you need. And since this is a must-have of Make, everything else on the dashboard is designed to make your scenarios easier, faster, and smarter. Now, let's say you're new to automation and you don't know where to begin. That's where the templates section comes in handy. Templates are pre-built scenarios that solve all of your common problems. For example, there's a template for automatically saving Gmail attachments to Google Drive, and there's another for syncing new Shopify orders to a Google Sheet, and of course, there's countless more. Instead of starting from a blank page, you can actually pick a template, connect your apps, and have it running in minutes. Templates aren't just time savers. They're also fantastic learning tools. By looking at how a template is built, you really begin to understand the logic and structure of scenarios. With the passage of time, you will feel confident enough to edit them or build your own from scratch. And the best part is, Make's template library is constantly growing with contributions from the community as well. So whatever workflow you want to work on, chances are there's already a template to help you start it from scratch. Having said that, none of this works unless Make can actually connect to your apps, and that is where Connections comes in handy. A connection is the bridge between Make and your favorite tool, whether it's Gmail, Airtable, Dropbox, OpenAI, or even custom APIs. Managing and setting up a connection is pretty simple. You authorize Make to access your app, and then it's saved in your account. From that point on, you can use it in any scenario that you build. The beauty here, though, is accessibility. You don't need to reconnect apps over and over and over and over again. Once a connection is established, it's available everywhere inside of Make. You can also manage and test all of your connections from this dashboard tab. So if something ever breaks, like a password change or API update, you can fix it without checking through every single scenario. The connections are the foundation of your automation workflow, and the more apps you connect, the more possibilities open up. Another amazing feature of Make is data stores. It is like a lightweight database that lives inside of Make itself. They help you save, manage, and manipulate data without the need or use of an external spreadsheet or CRM. For example, you can store a list of leads, keep an inventory count, or save responses from a form, and all of this happens in a single click. But why does this matter? Because sometimes you don't want to depend on external apps for every little task. Maybe you just need a place to store your data temporarily while a scenario runs, or you want a quick way to check on the information. Data stores gives you that flexibility, and when combined with scenarios, they become very powerful. So just imagine that you are automatically updating your inventory every time a sale happens, all without leaving Make. That is efficiency at its best. And then comes the tools feature, which performs key functions to make your workflows smarter. For example, in Make, tools will let you split text, format dates, and even perform math operations. Now, this may look technical, but they're actually very simple once you see them in action. Let me give you an example to help clarify. Suppose you're collecting full names in a form, but you need first and last names separately in your CRM. A tool can split the text for you automatically. Or maybe you need to convert a timestamp into a more readable date format, and the tools handle it. These little options may not look shiny, but they're what make your automation smooth and polished instead of complex and incomplete. Then the real magic of Make comes from its vast library of apps and integrations. This is where you'll find thousands of services that Make can connect with, from big names like Google Workspace, Slack, Shopify, and Facebook Ads, to software like Airtable, ClickUp, or Notion. It's all here. And in some cases, your app isn't supported directly. That's fine. You can use Make's HTTP module to connect with any service that has an API. That means that your automation potential really becomes unlimited. So this is the library that makes Make so versatile. Whether you're a freelancer managing client projects, a marketer running campaigns, or a business owner supervising the operations, the library enables that whatever tools you are already using can be adjusted into your workflows. And since Make is always adding new integrations, the possibilities keep increasing. Besides that, another feature that's often overlooked but extremely important is the execution history. Every time your scenario runs, Make keeps a detailed analysis of what happened. With this, you can see exactly which models or modules executed, what data was passed through, and whether there were any errors. If something goes wrong, like a missing piece of data, this is where you'll see it. Now, why is this so valuable? Well, because it gives you complete visibility and control. You don't have to guess whether your automation worked. You can actually watch your data step by step. For beginners, it is very helpful. For professionals, it's essential for troubleshooting and optimization. Execution history is basically your automation's report card. You can check it regularly to keep your workflows healthy and reliable. And finally, let's talk about teams and collaboration. While Make is really amazing for individuals and small teams, it really shines when you bring in a big team and a large setup. Inside the dashboard, you can invite team members, assign roles, and manage permissions. This is perfect for businesses where dozens of people need to build or monitor automations. If your marketing team is running campaigns and your sales team is handling CRM workflows, you can keep everything organized under one shared workspace. This is a collaboration that also makes scaling easier. Instead of one person being the automation expert, teams can work together, share knowledge, and build scenarios side by side. And because permissions are flexible, you can control exactly who has access to what. Seems like a lot, but that's it. In today's video, we gave you a complete tour of Make.com and everything its dashboard has to offer, from building powerful scenarios to starting quickly with templates, managing your connections, and exploring the massive library of apps and integrations. It is like an automation powerhouse that can completely change the way you work. But the best part is that you don't need to be a tech expert to use it. All you need is confidence and a willingness to experiment. You can start small and automate a simple task that you do every day. Then, as you get more comfortable, scale up to more complex workflows. And before you know it, you'll have built a complete system that saves you hours of manual work every single day, every single week. So if you're tired of boring tasks and want to free up your time for more productive work, give Make.com a try. And last but not least, it's not just about automation, it's about creating freedom, efficiency, and a smarter way of working. So go ahead, log in, and start building your first scenario today. Trust me. Once you see your first workflow run automatically, you'll wonder how you ever lived without it. As always, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.